I was praying, and the Joshua tree kept coming up. And I've had a small encounter with the Joshua tree before, so I knew a little bit about it, but I couldn't figure out why what the Joshua tree had to do with what I was supposed to talk about here today. So I paid it no mind. Went into Target one day to get me a little Starbucks. How many people know Starbucks? Okay. So I went into Target to get me a little Starbucks, and as I'm walking into the entrance to make my U-turn to get to the Starbucks area, I see this hat. And the hat said, what y'all think the hat said? Joshua tree. So I was like, all right, now you playing. Because why you just got a Joshua tree hat in the middle of Target? So I said, I'm going to be still and I'm going to pray on this because it obviously means something to someone. God reminded me that the Joshua tree bloomed in the desert. That the Joshua tree grew in unfavorable conditions. The Joshua tree not only grew where most plant life cannot survive. They don't have the nutrients to sustain in the desert. The Joshua tree grows, and it grows wild. Joshua tree don't grow straight up with pretty little flowers hanging off the end. The Joshua tree grows like a bad hair day, y'all. And I thought, that's kind of how we are. We're the Joshua tree. And this sometimes is the desert. Sometimes life is fruitful and abundant, and it's beautiful, and the picture is really pretty. And sometimes it's dried up, and we can't see the water, though it's there. Because how many people know that the Holy Spirit will provide us with everything that we need? So the water is always there, and it's always plentiful, but sometimes we can't see it. But just because we can't see it does not mean that it's not providing us all that we need to sustain. So like the Joshua tree grows in the desert, the things that you are enduring today, the things that you are going through, all of the conditions that you find yourself in are a part of the plan. And just like the Joshua tree is valuable to the ecosystem of that desert, we're not going to look up ecosystem. Y'all just going to trust me that it's good. The Joshua tree is a vital part of the desert's ecosystem. And without the Joshua tree, other things in that desert would not live. Without you and those unfavorable conditions, without you and the things that you are going through and enduring, without you pushing through with the power to persevere, there would be other people, other places, and other things that would never happen because they're attached to you and your obedience. Now, I think about the Joshua tree, I connect that to us, and then, of course, I got to bring that back to Jesus. So when I look at Jesus and how we know he is all up in everything, right? But we're going to also attach the plant life to Jesus. How many people know that they call Jesus the lily of the valley? How many people know that the lily of the valley also grows in unfavorable conditions? So we've heard over and over again in church, if you ain't went to church, you're going today. We've heard over and over again in church that Christ is in you, that Christ is always with you, and that whatever you're going through, he does not leave nor forsake you. He is there with you to bring you through it. So when I think of all of that, and I'm trying to put the meal together, y'all, I'm putting my little ingredients in, I think of the fact that Jesus was born only to die. His sole reason in putting feet on this earth was so he could die for us, so that we might have life beyond our sin. So no matter how much we messed up, we would be all good because Christ already paid the ultimate cost. So if Christ had to die, the only thing he was here for is so that he could die for you. Why aren't we willing to endure a little bit so that we can too be life for somebody else? Because somebody is connected to everything you're going through. I think about my life, and I think about the 2 miscarriages. One when I almost died, and my children found me nude in my bedroom on the floor, bleeding out. Where was God then? I can list so many times when I can say, where was God when these things happened to me? But today, I can tell you that he was the reason I got up off the floor. That Christ was the reason that my children found me and were able to call an ambulance so I could get the surgery I needed. That Christ was the reason I came up out the water when sin wanted to oppress me. That there were so many times when my choices or the choices of others, because that's what it boils down to. It's not God not being there. It's free will. Allowing things to happen and God knowing that he's going to bring you out on the other side. So I don't know what you're going through today. And I know my story is not yours, but I do know that you will make it through. And I know that just like the Joshua tree in the desert, you may be the only life in that place that looks like it's a forgotten area. When I looked at the Joshua tree, there was a story about Mormons who were traveling through the desert trying to find the promised land. And they thought they were lost. The only way they knew they were on the right path is because of the Joshua tree. So sometimes you only know that you're on the right path because of the opposition you face. The devil is not going to bother you when you're holding his hand. Why would he mess with you when you're his homie? Y'all riding. He ain't going to bother you. But when he knows you're transitioning, when he knows what you're after is greater, when he knows that there is a word that's attached to your life that is going to save so many people and bring so many people to Christ through you, he's got to fight you. So you're going to endure some things. You'll have some scrapes and some bruises along the way. And the way that I look at that is the scrape will be my hammer. The bruise will be my nails. And you can keep on giving me stuff, life. Devil, you can keep on getting busy because guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to use everything you give me as another tool to build something on this earth that can't nobody tear down. And that's what Christ does. Christ will take whatever has happened to you and work that for you. So whatever season you're in today, I just want to encourage you that it is not in vain. There is pain attached to this life. You will have loss. You will make mistakes. And you are never too far from God's love. God has not forgotten you. His mercy is great enough for everybody in this room and beyond. And I kept hearing as I was getting out the car, even to walk in here today, somebody feels like they're not good enough. Somebody feels like they don't have the ability to become who they visualize themselves as. And I just want to remind you that God wouldn't have given you the vision if he didn't think you were capable of becoming it. Don't allow the desert you're in to make you forget that you are the life in that desert. You have the capabilities to do everything that God has called you to do. And if you have the vision in your mind, please know that God has a plan for your life. And no matter what your conditions look like right now, there is something greater ahead for you. And I'm not saying that because I know everything, but I tell you what I do know. I know God. And I know God because I didn't know God. It took for me to say that there isn't one for me to really see who he is. God is powerful and God is in you. So because he is in you, you are powerful. So you have not only the power to get through this moment, but all of the moments that lie ahead. You have the power to persevere.